great to get a few minutes with Kuvar, who is a product integration engineer at Bridgewater Associates. Kuvar, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Viraj, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so let's start with a little bit of an introduction. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. My name is Kumar Sahib Singh Vora. I completed my undergrad in computer science engineering back in 2017. I'm originally from India. Worked on for 2 years. Decided to pursue Masters in Engineering Management from Duke University. Came here in Duke in 2019 and graduated recently. Had my ceremony on 3rd of May. Joined Bridgewater's on 10th of May 2021. Joined in as a product integration engineer into the product org of Bridgewater. For those who don't know, Bridgewater is the world's largest hedge fund. And yeah, it's interesting to learn about the investment engines and stuff like that, which I have never been familiar about before.
Awesome. So let's talk about the timing of beginning the job search. When you're pursuing your master's, when did you actually start searching for job opportunities in the US?
Okay, so it's been an ongoing process for a long time. I would say I'm a person who lives by the moment. So first semester was totally about living and exploring different ideas, different genres of different fields, we would say. I started searching for the full-time job in October, November-ish, I think. And then my exams kicked in December and was off. The job search was off for some time. I started it again in full stream in January, February-ish.
Got it. So January of 2021? 2021.
Yeah,
okay.
It was on and off from October, November.
November.
Yeah, full stream, like proper job search phase started from January 2021.
Got it. And you actually graduated in May 2021, right?
I completed my exams in December 2020.
Okay.
Got it all done. I graduated on December 2020, 30th of December. Then I had my graduation ceremony recently on 3rd of May.
I see. Okay, gotcha. So, I mean, it's fair to say that you started your job search almost a semester before you took your final exams, right?
Yeah, fairly half a semester before, I would say.
Half a semester before. Gotcha. So now, if you were to look back, do you think you had enough time when it came to job search? Do you think your timing of beginning your job search was okay, not okay? Would you have given yourself a little bit of more time, less time? Any thoughts on that?
Reflecting back, I think it was perfectly fine. I don't have any regrets, and it worked out all well.
Okay.
Because I just came out of the internship period, and that was in summer, and it ended in August, and then I started my new semester. So I had to pay attention to the subjects that I enrolled into, and then I gave that sometime like a month or two, and then I started my job search in October-ish, because most of the applications for program manager positions of big companies like Bridgewater, like Facebook, Microsoft, those start opening up at that time. So I wanted to meet those deadlines before I lose them, and I did meet them, so that was perfectly fine. My advice to everybody watching this would be give it time, make a list of the main deadlines, top 10 deadlines that you have, top 10 companies, make a list of the deadlines you have there. Make sure you meet them. Do not lose on them. But on the same hand, knowledge is more important. So just keep on going through those subjects that you enrolled into.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about the approach you took when you were actually searching for jobs. How did you approach your job search?
My approach started way back. I think I started building up an approach when I started applying for internship jobs. So for internships, I started applying in January before. So we are talking about January 2020 now. I started reaching out to my seniors, seeing where the alums are, how the alums have been doing into the industry, and then making a list of the main companies that would benefit me. Jotting down so I would say finally jotting down the fields that I wanted to go into. For me, mainly they were product management, program management, project management. These were the three that I bucketed down to, and then I found some alums, started talking to them, networking with them, understanding how their job search went, and I also got my resume vetted from them, from the ones that I trusted or from the ones that I got good input from. And then it went on to applying from the Duke portal, applying directly after talking to people, asking them if they have opportunities available in their teams. And also, LinkedIn has been a great help. I think one of the main portals have been LinkedIn.
Got it. So now, if you were to look back, would you have done
Mhm.
something different when it came to the approach you took for job search?
I would say generally, my advice would be to network more. What I would have done differently, I think I would have paid more emphasis on, or I would have started networking even before January, like talking to people, understanding how their job life works, what kind of work they are doing, what roles are they into, what are the responsibilities. So most of people think that job interview is like an exam, whether I think it's more of whether you can relate to the responsibilities that the person already into the job is doing.
Yes.
So if you can do that and you can convey it into the interview that those are the responsibilities that you can do easily, or you were meant to do, or you would at least find them interesting while doing it, and you basically can show that the job that you're applying into, you're already playing that role, that works a lot. So I think I would have changed my approach towards that, because those are the things that I realized later on during the stages.
Phenomenal. So let's talk about getting interviews. What did you do to actually get interviews from the companies that you're applying for? Was there anything in particular that you were doing?
So we are talking about a tricky time now because COVID has hit. Economy is falling, I think, and companies are going for layoffs. My few of the people that I know that those were into the jobs got, I would say, kicked off of the companies and stuff like that. So this is the time that we're talking about. So at that time, my best approach that I took was to talk to different senior people into the companies. So many times the what we students come in, we have a mindset that if we message a director or a principal program manager stuff, or people on those above lines, they won't respond because for them we are not important, if I can say that. But it's not that. I think it's the opposite. Those
Mhm.
people really think about giving it back to the society. They have more, uh, I would say, experience. They have more knowledge. They have more power inside the company, and they have, I think, more understanding of the job roles that might be opening up into the future. So they have been for a very long time. They can. So I started approaching people. Directors of, I think one of the person that I talked to was director of Pluto TV, and she was really helpful. She guided me into preparing for uh, product management jobs, and also highlighting when the roles will open up into her company. So I think that approach, if people go in by that approach, they can talk to people about what are the requirements that they might be facing in future, and how as a student or as an employee I can fulfill that requirement.
Got it.
That would be
Nice.
the approach.
So now, if you were to look back, would you have changed your approach when it came to actually getting interviews? Would you have done something different?
I would have done that more.
Okay, you
So
have done that
just
more.
to clarify, I did that list. I was
Okay,
still applying for a lot of jobs, but later on I realized that was much more important, because
okay.
that provided me with more leads rather than just applying on the portals. Because I don't know, because of the COVID or because of the anything that was going on in the job market at that time. I think just applying from the LinkedIn did not cut it, because I think there are false job postings. Um Even if there are good postings, there is a lot of competition into the market. If you don't apply within an hour of job posting, I think you're not even considered as a valid candidate. So I think, yeah, apply early. talk to people more, talk to senior people, do not hesitate from them, um, meet your deadlines, and be prepared with, or also cater your resumes according to the jobs if you really want that company.
Yes.
So for the top 10 companies, you should cater to them.
Got it. So pivoting towards preparing for interviews, how did you prepare for the interviews that you've gotten?
I think Duke prepared me for a long time ago. I started participating into projects. I started participating into clubs, many different clubs I was part of. In Duke, outside Duke, I also participated in competitions, project competitions. I think all of that stuff plays a great role. You understand how different cultures come together into US market and work as a team to produce results. That is very important. Also, when you are into product clubs, when you are into project clubs of your respective universities, they are basically a mock of the work that you will be doing into your job roles. So that is what prepares you the best. Do as much as you can. What I also did was went on to sites like exponent.com or YouTube channel of Exponent, and I also um, joined the Slack channel of uh, uh, if I remember right, Decode and Conquer, the person who has this written Decode and Conquer, um, Louis Silent. So he has a channel on Slack where they discuss different product cases, different ideas, innovation ideas. So yeah, those are the things that I started doing from early on. I started reading books about product management. Most of the books that I read was and were very helpful. One of them was Lean Product Playbook. Uh, second of Second was Decode and Conquer. And then if you have still have time, you can also go for PM cracking the PM interview. I think these you can read them while going into classes, while you are doing work, and those are fun read, but they prepare you. They build a solid foundation for you.
Got it. Nice. So that's what you're doing to prepare for interviews. Now, if you were to
Yes.
reflect back and
hmm
when you were to do perhaps all over again, would you have changed
hmm
your approach when it came to preparing for interviews? Anything
Uh,
different? Anything new
I
that you could have done?
I would have done all that. Plus, I would have done more of mocks.
Mocks.
So uh, many a times students don't pay attention. Students tend to not pay that much value to mocks, but mocks hold a lot of value. You should start doing mocks with your peers and then broaden your scope and start doing mocks with people you connect over LinkedIn
Mhm.
or your seniors, your alumni, and there are many other portals available right now where you can actually find people interviewing for different companies and you both can take each other's mocks. So by doing that, you actually are controlling your own anxiety when you face those questions in real time. Second, you are getting more ideas. Third, you are understanding the entire workflow of the process that
Mhm.
you have just read. So, reading and practicing are two different things. I would have practiced more.
Got it. So now let's completely pivot towards some company specific questions. How did
Mhm.
you come across the product integration engineer role at Bridgewater Associates?
That is a tricky question. Really, I think I did a LinkedIn search
Okay.
saying product hiring, and then just I clicked on the search button
Hmm.
and I went into the recent posts,
Okay.
and there was this post by somebody saying that we are looking for product managers, people who are interested into product management, into financial companies, into big financial companies. There was no name written, nothing like that. I just uh, reached out to that particular person. I said I would like to get on a call. I was on a call within an hour. I think that was super fast.
Wow.
I think I might be lucky that day. So super fast. I was on a call. Um, they just explained me a bit of stuff. They were like, Are you interested into product management?" I said yes, and they were like, "Would you be interested into a role which prepares you for product management into a financial sector, because understanding the financial sector and the production to the investment engine world and the hedge fund world are a bit different. So are you willing to give in few years and preparing and going through a track, which is the product track at Bridgewater. They did not mention Bridgewater, but they mentioned that, are you willing to go through the product track in order to become a product manager eventually? I was like, yes, I'm pretty interested into that. That looks exciting. And then I was sent over the responsibilities and job and responsibilities, and a pre-test kind of a thing. Yeah, cracked that down, got into calls, got into the interview process, and from there on, it just went smooth.
Got it. So that kind of ties us to the next question I was going to ask. How did you actually get the interview for this role? But you kind of walked us through that.
Yeah,
you saw that post. You saw the person who posted that, and you reached out to them, and basically from there on, you actually connected. Say, I'm interested in this particular position. I'm interested into the role, and then within half an hour, within 1 hour, you were on your first interview, I guess, in some sense.
Wasn't an interview, it was more of an introduction. But yeah, within like 2-3 days, the interview started.
Got it. So what was the interview process like?
Interview process at Bridgewater is very interesting. It's like nothing in the other companies, and I can say that because I have given my fair share of interviews. I've cracked my fair share of interviews, so it was a different experience altogether. Once the process started, I think Bridgewater has, if people know about it, it's the company made by Ray Dalio, and he has this book known as Principles. And Ray Dalio is famously known for predicting economic crashes and predicting the market before it occurs. So so it was interesting. They have a set of principles. That was what I was coming into, and you are tested based upon them. So my first interview was with the hiring manager, kind of like talking about the roles and responsibilities, what I've done in the past and stuff like that. Even previous to that, I talked about the testing, right? That was a small coding question, generally seeing to my technical skills. If I can read the code and understand it and do something about it. So I won't exactly say the question out there. After that, the hiring call, and then a call with then I think I had a call with one more person, and then I had this super day, and which had three different rounds in that super day. The first round was known as the life interview. So I have never experienced that before, but they actually tend to see how your life has progressed throughout, why you have taken certain decisions into your life, what are the reasons behind it. So they try to understand how your logical brain works, and they are experts in understanding that. And they are in one of the famously known things is that Bridgewater's is known for radical transparency and radical, it's transparent and it's out there. So they give their views on the spot after the interview has happened. So they are like, this is what I think about you. And that sometimes can be very shocking to realize that. After that, I went into a case study round, which was taken by another two people in my company, in my product org. After which I had one more round. That was the super day. And then I think I had one more. The third interview on the super day was product question, which was taken by the director of product. That went well, and then I had one final interview after a week, just gauging my interest into investment world, into hedge fund world, as a product manager, if I'm up for taking those responsibilities. And that interview was again taken by my manager right now and the director of product, and they two were there discussing about the roles and responsibilities, any concerns that I might have. That was kind of the closing deal kind of a thing.
Got it. And how long after your last interview did you get the offer?
I think the next day.
The next day. Got it. So they're super quick.
Do not assume by whatever I said right now that this interview process took very long. I have given way less interviews in a very long time. This process was very smooth. They were very kind on keeping my timings into account. This process actually went super fast. Like there were very number of interviews, but it went smooth and it went fast. So I'm assuming that they can get done with all of this thing and offering you finally within 3 weeks.
Nice. So, any last piece of advice to any international student who is in the
Hmm.
US or planning on thinking about coming to the US for education and is
Hmm.
seeking a full time job opportunity? Any last piece of advice you'd like to share?
Do not jump onto things. Um, I have been getting calls from people, from students who are coming to US, who are new to, they are planning to come for masters in Duke and stuff like that. I've seen people jumping to things. The questions are usually like, "What can I do to get a job? What can I do to do this? What can I do to get product management job?" I would say, hold on. First, understand what you're coming for. First, understand what product management means, or it's your time. You're coming for a job, for a university to study, not to get a job. Your goals should be aligned. I would say give it time, understand, go through the process. The process is amazing. It will teach you a lot of things and it will prepare you. Be proactive, take part in a lot of clubs, in a lot of discussions, in a lot of projects. Um, Go beyond Indian society. That is one mistake that many people do. Uh, it will help you empathize with other cultures and understand what values do they hold dear. And the last thing that I would say is the most important thing, which is what matters is meaningful relationships and meaningful work. These two words would, these two things would really help you a lot. Create meaningful relationships with people that come across you, and do meaningful work, whether it be in your small projects and whether it be on large scale projects. And if you're doing those two things, I think you're in a good spot to get land an interview
Amazing.
or
Well,
land a job.
yeah, amazing. Well, thank you, Kur, for your time. Really appreciate it.